that was a good one. That was
Thank
that was
you.
that was a
Thank
good
you.
one. You
Thank
tried.
you. I mean,
You
stick
did
to
well.
your budget.
Yes,
Right.
stick to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Love and Finance. It's your girl, Cookie Miami, and it's Children's Day today. We just want to use this medium to wish every child out there a happy Children's Day. You're great, you're special, and you have the potential to be all that you want to be, okay? So our topic for today is something that is really in the hearts of parents, and that is instilling financial literacy in children from young age. And with me here, our guest for today, no other person but the one and only, the delectable, amiable, beautiful Gen Z baddest, Mrs. Bukky Maiye.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So it's so great to have you here, ma.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited.
Thank you, Cookie. That was a really nice introduction. Wow.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. So, speaking of financial literacy, there are like a lot of misconceptions that some parents have when it comes to teaching children financial literacy. Could you tell us maybe some of these misconceptions, and then if there are ways that you can correct these misconceptions?
I think some of the misconceptions parents typically have about teaching kids financial literacy is that it has to start from a particular age. Yeah, most of us as parents, I'm a parent myself, I think my mindset was initially of the fact that when they're old enough, you understand, we always feel like when they're old enough, we can start teaching them about money. Oh, our parents didn't teach us early enough about money, but yet we pass that on to children and say when they're old enough. So typically teenage years, when they're like 15, 16, approaching adulthood, you start to feel like, okay, now it's time, you're about to go to university. So you need to start learning about money. But at that point, it might already even be too late because perceptions, mindsets have already been formed at that age. And you feel like, okay, I want to start teaching you about financial education or literacy or all that good stuff, but you already have a preconceived notion about it already. So I think for me, the way to go around that is to really start teaching your children from a very young age.
Yeah, it's never too early
From
to
the
start.
moment they start talking and understand what give and take is, that's the right age to start teaching children, honestly. So I have two young little girls, and from a very young age, on their second birthday, their birthday present was a piggy bank.
Wow.
It absolutely was. Because, you know, typically in this environment, birthdays are celebrated by giving money.
Right.
So grandma will give you money, grandpa will give you money, uncles and aunts will give you money. What do you do with that money? Right? So even from that little age, and because of course, the way you would explain to them or educate them about money at that age is very, you know, very babyish, so to speak. So you just say, don't spend the money now, just keep it for a rainy day. But that is teaching them saving, so to speak. Yes, just keep the money for now. So I think that might be a good way. Yeah.
This is so right. Like we said, it's never too early to start.
Yeah.
Please, like she said, once they're already speaking, once they know how to, even if the they're saying already, please, let's inculcate this thing to our children to really go a long way. Because if we were taught what we know now, right, about money, I'm sure would have handled our finances better, way better. So it's never too early to start. Let's just start doing that.
Yeah.
All right then. Yeah. So the second question, with the way children try to navigate information they hear from the internet and stuff, even right from, like you said, when you bought your kids piggy bank, right from every coin that goes into the bank and to the decisions we ourselves as adults take in their presence. How do you think parents can steer the balance between teaching children the value of money and then not also letting them know that there are financial stress or what would I call it now? Financial stress that are also attached. So there are instances you might not have, but we don't want the child to like know. So it's not like they now have a different perception of money. Then they become scared sometimes to think of money or to handle money. So how can parents balance that?
It's a tricky one. Of course, it really depends on family dynamics because a lot of families might be financially buoyant and really can afford most things, even for little kids. Whereas the family dynamics might actually be like you rightly said, where there might be financial constraints or restraints here and there. My dad once told me a story very recently about how once in a while he struggled to pay our school fees because we went to private school growing up. He said, but even my mom never knew about it, let alone us kids never knew about it. So that's part of parents sheltering children. The balance would be really letting them know that life is not a bed of roses. You can't ask for things and expect to receive them on demand, right? So, mommy, I want ice cream. Here is your ice cream. Mommy, I want chocolate. Here is your chocolate. So, even in those times where you don't experience financial constraints, you still have to teach them balance because really life is about balance. So, at some point, as they grow, depending on what age they are and depending on what age you started to teach them these things, you can start to make them actually appreciate the value of money by working for it. So if you clean your room today, I'm going to give you 500 naira. That 500 naira, you can either use it to buy the chocolate you wanted or you can keep it. So little chores like that, little examples like that can teach them, because if you continue to tell them that there is no money, there is no money, there is no money, it would help them think of money as a bad thing, the evil one, the bad guy, right? And you want them to have a good relationship with money, especially early on. So it's really just about finding that balance and finding creative ways, like I said, to teach them about having and not having. Because sometimes you do have, but you're like, I already bought these things for you. Why do you need more? So in that instance where you actually do have and you are just trying to teach your children a lesson, then you come up with creative ways to go around it, like what I said earlier. Or in the instance where you actually legitimately do not have, because honestly, sometimes we don't have. Sometimes we don't actually have. That's the reality. So in those instances, again, you don't make them feel like, money is a bad thing. You let them understand that, in life is cyclical. Sometimes we are up, sometimes we're down. Did you feel happy yesterday? Sometimes you feel sad. Okay, that's the same way money is. Sometimes you have a lot of money and sometimes you don't have a lot of money. At this point in time, we don't have a lot of money. So we're going to manage the little that we do have. So you have to find a way to, kind of let them see it from a real perspective, not from a negative perspective. That in reality, life does go up and down, and sometimes we have, sometimes we don't. Yeah.
This is so insightful. And I hope you also got the lights just as I did. Right. Okay, so this one, it's so we know, even though we want to teach children about financial literacy and all that, but we also need to know that the psychological effects of money on their development also matters. So things like how attitude towards money, how does it affect their attitude also, and things like that. So can you tell us if there are like signs that a child can be showing off that shows that this child is suffering from a negative effect of money?
Signs that a child is suffering from negative effects of money. That's a very good question. For me, I think one of the signs would be not wanting to ask mommy for anything. Right? Typically, children are closer to their moms. Of course, it's not all scenarios or all situations, but generally speaking, children, especially at the younger age, they're close to mommy. So mommy is always the go-to person. So when you find the child never asking mommy for anything, it's probably because she constantly hears mommy complaining about money. There's no money, there's no money, so she will feel bad going to ask mommy for money. So I think, or for anything at that. So I think those are probably one of the signs that will tell you that, maybe I've done something wrong here and my child has the wrong perception about money or doesn't really understand, how this whole money thing works. I think another example will be probably the other side of that, the opposite of that, where my mommy can buy anything. I need a plane. My mommy will buy me a plane. My mommy buys me every and anything, right? So they have a false perception as well about money, and it's a bad relationship because you think literally anything you want, you can get. So I think there are two sides to it. The side where the child is constantly never asking for anything, or the child genuinely throws a tantrum because he or she genuinely believes that mommy can buy any and everything. So I think those are some of the signs.
That's good. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so final question. Can you share with us some of the practical steps or things parents can do to inculcate financial literacy into their daily activities or routines. So like you earlier mentioned, maybe do a dish and wash a dish and then get money. So can you also give us like more practical?
There's so many practical ways. For example, take your children to the bank. A lot of people underestimate the value of taking your kids into the bank at a very early age. Let them see how money transactions happen, right? Start from a very early age. Take them to work. Take your children to the office. Let them see that these people, all these things that we're doing from morning till evening is so that we can get a little change at the end of the month, right? Savings, get them piggy banks, like I said. Let them do household chores at home and pay them for it, right? A lot of times in Nigeria, we put our children's names as directors, shareholders in our companies, but we don't pay them. We don't. We are doing profit sharing. We are paying everybody, but the directors that are in the company, pay them. So open accounts for them. Let those accounts let the monies in the account start working for them. And, I think those are just very simple, practical things that a lot of us in this environment, we overlook and we don't practice. So the more we start to, the earlier I would say we start to teach our children about financial literacy, the better for everybody, really. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, ma'am.
Absolutely.
So insightful. So that's it, guys. God. Now I feel like starting all over, even though I don't even have a child yet, but I just feel like starting all over again. And I hope you feel the same way. I'm sure this has helped you as a parent, one way or the other. Please and please, let's take financial literacy serious, especially with our children. If they don't learn it now, it might be late tomorrow or later. And even for you as a parent, you need to also start your retirement plans and all that now, so that you don't also put burden on your children when they grow up. Okay, so the fun thing we do at the end of the podcast is supposed to be like a finance pun. So I just ask you a question and you ask me why, and then I give you the answer. If you laugh, fine. If it's not funny, my bad.
Okay.
Okay, so why is it that budget plans don't break up?
Oh my God, why is it that budget plans don't break? I love these kind of jokes, by the way, but I can't think of anything. So why?
Right, good. That's because they always stick to the plan.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
That was a good one. That was a good one. You tried.
Thank you. I mean,
you
stick
did
to
well.
your budget.
Yes,
Right.
stick to it.
All right, guys. Well, that's the end
Lord.
of this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, and then join our Telegram channel, and also subscribe to our newsletter for in-depth insight on financial literacy tips and valuable resources. Until next episode, it's been Love and Finance. Peace out.